Good morning, students. As you all know that we have completed our two chapter 1 and 2nd. So today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter 3, which is data handling. So let us see what is data. So data are individual pieces of information about a particular system. They can be in form of figures or number. So data is collected to analyze specific information for a specific purpose. Data means, for example, if you are collecting data about the students, means their name, their father's name, their mother's name, their date of birth. So these are the data or the piece of information about a student. Any raw information which we collect to know about it and to compare certain thing is called data. And this information is in the form of facts or figures and is collected for some specific purposes. And you can see the examples of data. For example, number of students in the class. Number of students in a particular class, and we are collecting the data that how many students is given are in 6th, for example in 7th C. So that one is the data of 7th class. Second example, the temperature in a state on daily basis. So temperature means 36 degrees Celsius. Some days it may be of 35, 34 like this. So this is the collection of the temperature on different days. So the data means the piece of information about a particular system or a particular thing. And then organization of data. How to organize the given data. Data is organized and represented graphically so that it becomes easy to understand and interpret. If you collect data about an student, so you have to represent in a organized way. It means so that we can easily understand it. Otherwise we will be misconfused. So here we can represent in different ways, like in graph form also. So this is called an organization of data. So organization means the method or the way how we organize the collect the data which is collected by us. Now data handling. We need to collect, organize and represent the data to draw inferences from it, and this is called data handling. Means how we are handling the data given, the data collected by us. How we are arranging or organizing in a easy way. The next, collecting data. The collection of data depends upon the further requirements of the data. Before collecting any data, we must know that what will be the use of data. For example, if you are collecting the data about a student, then first you should know that what we will do using the data about the student, or what we will use the information about the student. Then if we have to compare the marks of topper in different classes, then we need the data of all the classes, not only one class having one topper. If you want to compare the marks of the toppers in different classes, in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, means in all classes, if you want to compare the marks of all the topper, so we need the data of all the classes, not only one class having any topper. So we have to collect the data of all the toppers of all the different classes. Now organization of data, how to organize the given data here. So before using any data, first we need to organize it in a systematic manner so that we can understood easily. Generally, data is organized in a tabular form. For making the data easily to understand, we are generally using in a tabular form or in a table form so that it is easy to read and understand. For example, here marks of the students are given, that how many student got how much mark. So these are the marks 1, 2, 3 till 10. And number of student means frequency. It means 1 marks scored by how many student. So here 1 marks is scored by 1 student, 2 marks is scored by 4 student, 3 marks is scored by 2 student, 4 marks scored by 5 student. Same it is given till 10. So the total number of students are 35. It means out of 35 students, this marks are scored by this many students, and we can represent by tally marks also. So in this tabular form, we can easily understand that how many students get how much mark. If you do not arrange this numbers in a tabular form, then it will be more difficult for you to see that how much that how many students got 1 marks, 2 marks. So if you arrange in a tabular form, it will be easy to read that, easy to see that the 2 marks scored by 4 students, 5 marks scored by 7 students. So this is the organization of data so that we can understand easily the data collected by us on different things. Now arithmetic mean and range. Now arithmetic mean, or we can say it as an average or a mean. So the average or arithmetic mean or mean of a given data is defined as, so there is a formula of mean which is equal to sum of all observations upon number of observation, or the most common representative value of a group of data is arithmetic mean. The mean value which we will find by this formula is always lies between the greatest and the smallest observation. We will see arithmetic mean how to find it by one example. So the difference between the highest and the lowest observation in a given data is called range. If we want to find the range, then we have to find the difference between the highest and the lowest observation, or the lowest value in the data which is collected by us. Now we can see the range. Range gives us an idea of the spread of observation. It means how much number are spreading here. So let us understand the arithmetic mean and range by one example. So example is given, ages of all 10 teachers in a grade 7 are, means 10 teachers are there whose ages are given as 25, 43, 34, 55, 44, 60, 32, 29, 35 and 40. Now we have to find the mean, means the spread of mean means how much ages are of 10 teachers, which is nearly central tendency, or we can say that arithmetic means the central tendency or the central value through which we can find the ages of all 10 teachers. So add all this. Mean, we know that mean means sum of observations upon number of observation. So sum of all observation. So these are 25, 43. These are the observations of all 10 teachers. Now add this 25 plus 43 plus 34, 55, 44 plus 60. You have to add all the ages of 10 teachers and divide by number of observations. Number of observation means these are the ages of how many teachers? 10 teachers. So divided by 10. Now add 25 till 40. So we will get answer as 397. And 397 divided by 10 will get 39.7 year. So 39.7 year, it means the ages of all teachers are nearby 39.7. Means nearby 39.7, all ages, the teachers of ages are lies here. It means 39.7, it is near to 34, then 35, 40, 44 or 60. It means it is the mean or the average value of all 10 teachers. Now range, and we have seen that range means the difference between the highest and the lowest observation. So highest observation means what is the highest age here. Here highest is 60 and the lowest one is 25. So 60 minus 25 is equal to 35. So this is the formula to find the range of the given data. Now we are going to start our exercise 3.1. Question number 1. Find the mean of first 5 natural numbers. So which are the first 5 natural numbers? We know that natural numbers start from 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the first 5 natural numbers whose mean or average we have to find. Or we can say that this is the arithmetic mean. And we know that the mean formula is sum of observations upon total number of observations. So first we have to find the sum, means we have to add all the observation. The given data, the data which we are collecting or the data which is given here are known as observation, which we are observing. So sum of observation means 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Number of observation means how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to divide by 5. Now add all this one. 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 1, 15. So 15 divided by 5, which is equal to 3. So 15 we have to divide by 5. So 5 3s are 15. It means the mean of first 5 natural number is equal to 3. It means the value of all the natural number lies nearby 3 only. Second one, find the mean of first 12 even natural number. Even means the numbers which are divisible by 2. So which are the starting first even 12 even natural number? We cannot start here from 0 because 0 means which is a whole number and 0 is not a natural number. So start from 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So these are the starting 12 even natural number. Now we have to find its mean. We know that mean means sum of observation upon number of observation. So sum of observation means you have to add all the even natural numbers, all the 12 even natural number. So 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 12. You have to add till 24. And how many numbers are there? There are total 12. So divide by 12. Now add all the number from 2 to 24. If you add all this number, you will get the answer as 156. Now divide 156 by 12. So we can directly divide here or by the regular division method. So 15 ones are 13 ones are 13. Here 2 is left. 13 twos are 26. It means the answer is 12. So the mean of, you have to divide 156 by 12. So 12 ones are 12, 36, 12 threes are 36. Means the answer is 13. So the mean of first even natural numbers is equal to 13. Question number 3. Ashish studies for 4 hours, 5 hours and 3 hours respectively on 3 consecutive days. Consecutive days means the days which is continuously going on. For example, on Monday, Ashish studies 4 hours, on Tuesday 5 hours and 3 hours on Wednesday. How many hours does he study daily on an average? Can you say that Ashish studies 4 hours daily on an average? Average means we have to find the arithmetic mean or the mean how much Ashish studies daily. It means sometime he study 4 hours, some days 5, some days 3. It means we have to find the average or the approximately how many hours he studies daily. So Ashish studies on 3 consecutive days are. Consecutive means one after the other. So 4, 5 and 3 hours. Now we have to find the average. Here you can see there somewhere it is given average and sometime here it is given as mean. Or we can say arithmetic mean. All are same only. If you want to find arithmetic mean or average, you have to use the same formula. So average is sum of hours Ashish studies on 3 consecutive days upon total days. So how much hours are given in 3 days? 4 plus 5 plus 3. And total days are how many days? 3 consecutive days means 3 days. So you have to divide by 3. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. So 12 divided by 3 which is equal to 4 hours. So the average, it means daily on 3 days nearby he studies maximum 4 hours. So yes, we can say that Ashish. One more question here asks that can you say that Ashish studies 4 hours daily on an average? So yes, we can say that Ashish studies 4 hours daily on an average. Now question number 4. A dietitian recorded the consumption of calories during this week by his patient as follows. For the week it is given Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And these are the different calories on different days for a week. Find the average consumption of calories by the patient. We have to find the average consumption of the calories by the patient in a week. So how can you find average consumption? Means the sum of consumption of calories on all days. All days means from Monday to Saturday, and total upon number of days. Sum of consumption means on Monday 3105 plus Tuesday 1795 plus on Wednesday 1500, then on Thursday 1407, Friday 2615, on Saturday 1800 and on Sunday 1913. And number of days. How many number of days are given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have to divide by 7. Now at all this number, so we'll get as 14,135 divided by 7. And if you divide, we'll get the answer as 2019.28. Here you can see that we can round off. Here it is greater than 5. It means this number, ahead number, we have to increase by one number. So we can write 2019.28 as 2019.3. It means the average consumption of the calories by the patient is 2019.3 calories. This is the average how much he take on in a week. Then question number 5. A golfers scored the following scores for 9 rounds of golf: 84, 90, 103, 78, 83, 93, 88, 75 and 80. What is the mean score per round? It means these are the scores scored by a golfer in 9 rounds. Means sometimes 84, sometimes 90. So we have to find the mean or the average score scored by a golfer in each round. So scores of 9 rounds of golf are 84, 90, 103, 78. These are the scores of 9 rounds. So mean score means total score in 9 rounds upon we have to divide by total rounds. So first you have to add all the scores scored in 9 rounds. After that you have to divide by 9. If we add all the score, you will get 774 divided by 9, which is equal to 86. As we have seen that the value of mean lies in between greatest and smallest observation. So here you can see that which is the smallest observation here, 84, and greatest is 103, and we got the mean score as 86. It means it lies between smallest and greatest score. Then question number 6. A batsman scored the following numbers of runs in 6 innings: 36, 35, 50, 46, 60, 55. Calculate the mean runs scored in an inning. First, what you have to see, you have to find the mean. A batsman scored the number of runs in 6 innings are this are the number. So how to find the mean? The runs scored in 6 innings upon total inning. So first you have to add all the observation and you have to divide by 6. The answer you will get, that will be the mean run scored in an inning. So today we have seen how to find arithmetic mean or average. On the next step of our class, we will see the further questions of our exercise 3.1.